Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna take my small pieces of red that I'm gonna paint red and put them on a small piece of tape. Then I'm gonna do the same for the green. So I don't lose them, it's easier to paint them because I lose small pieces super easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this one right here just so I don't lose it, but that's getting painted black. All right, I'm gonna start with this one, this sign where it says Farm Fresh Trees. I sanded it with 320 grit paper, and I am going to do like a faux stain on it. You can use a baby wipe or a wet paper towel. And when it dries, it makes the engraved letters right here pop a little bit more. All right, that one is done. I'm gonna set that here. I'm gonna do the same for this one. I just wanna put some paint on there. Take my same wet paper towel, just wipe it all over. Try to make sure you are making sure that the paint is kind of all over and not like over here it's really heavy with the paint, so I'll take it and wipe some of it off. It does not have to be perfect. That's the beautiful thing about painting. But baby wipes work so much better with that. And I'm also going to do this one. I'll just use what I have left over. If I need to add a little bit more paint, I can. Try not to, though. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit to get inside of the little engraves. I'm going to use my finger. Kind of push it down in there a little bit. All right, I'm going to wipe the excess off. And that is what it looks like, still wet. All right, I am going to move to this side. Move this over to the side. I am going to do this white. My paintbrushes look rough. They've got a lot of life in them. Oh, never mind. I'll just dip it. These bottles I get from just Walmart. They're like less than $1. And I'll buy like a big thing of paint and just fill it up. You do not have to have fancy paintbrushes. I just buy mine wherever. I'll buy them from Michael's, I'll buy them from Walmart, Amazon. They all get the job done. All right, just making sure I have even coverage. I am going to do a dry sand on them afterwards. All right, so now I'm going to do these. I think I'm going to use this paint. I just got it. It's Deco Art New Leaf. I've never had green like this yet, so let me shake it up because sometimes this paint separates. It's a good paint, but it separates. All right, get good and shaken. Oh gosh, oh goodness gracious! And on these trees, they have little scores, so you can paint the bottom differently. And I just like slowly run it across that score mark. I hope you guys can see this. I'm not very good with my camera skills or my editing skills, so this isn't gonna be a fancy video. Probably should have done a sponge. Sponge would have been so much easier besides right there. All right, let me get the excess off because it will look funny if there's like a big glob of paint when I go to sand. So I want to get this excess off because I overdid it with the paint in some spots. All right, so I'm gonna set that right there. So this one, you don't have to paint the middle because that one tree I just painted is gonna set over the middle. So this one does not have the score right here because you don't have to paint it. I like this green color. I don't like green. Green is not, I'm not a big fan of green, but I think that this green is really pretty. Green is my least favorite color. It's my husband's favorite color. But I don't know, I've just never been a green fan, but I really do enjoy this. And I'm just taking it slowly near that score line. Not to go over it. Because if you go over it, it could bleed, so just slow and steady. And even if you do go over it, it's okay. My favorite things about these, about painting especially, is like sometimes when you mess up, it's honestly pretty cool looking. It can be pretty cool looking. I have done a few that was not cool looking. They look really bad because I messed up. All right. Let me make sure that this covers. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna set this off to the side. And then for these, because I believe I sanded these, I am just going to take a paint marker and do the bottom. Again, just go slow near that score line. Super, super easy once you get the hang of it. This brand of markers is my favorite to work with. Posca. I went through so many of these over the years. Such an awesome brand, to be honest. I like I think it's Thule brand. Also, that's a really good brand. I don't have black paint in here. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I have black paint. need to get some new paintbrushes. Mine are a little stiff and like very well used. Try not to get it on the table because I did not think to put butcher paper on the table. Thankfully, this stuff cleans off pretty easy. I just was in a really big hurry to film this before I have to go pick up my kiddo from her summer program because her last day for the week is today. So, and the rest of the night I'm gonna work on cutting new stuff. And tomorrow, since I'm done working until Saturday. So, because I like to try to take Thursday and Friday off to just work on new stuff. If I'm able to. If I'm not able to get all of my orders out earlier, then I won't take those days off to do that. But it's the only time it's quiet in my house is when I'm home alone. You have kids, you completely understand. My kid, she's a preteen, but she's super loud. What color am I going to paint the banners? Red? Because, yeah, I'll do red because there's not a whole lot of red in this set. And I think I'm going to use this Tucson red from Deco Art. I picked it up at Michael's. I think Hobby Lobby sells it too. It's a really pretty red. I think I've used it on a Valentine's Day set too. It's a really pretty red for that. You could also use like Apple Barrel's red. I think it's bright red. I don't have the bottle in front of me because with those I put them in these containers and I throw away the bottle. But I really like Deco Art because the color is a lot more vibrant than Apple Barrel. Apple Barrel is kind of a little translucent. When I first started, I would use the Apple Barrel because we live in the middle of nowhere and we only have a Walmart. So Apple Barrel paint was the easiest that I could get because we only have a Walmart and our nearest like Michael's and Hobby Lobby is an hour away. Sorry if you hear popping. That's my roof. I have a metal roof and when it's hot outside, you hear random popping all the time. And I just heard it super loud. So I don't know if you could hear it on the video. But yeah, so I don't always want to drive an hour. And we don't have fast shipping either here anymore. We used to have like 2 days with Prime and like now, nope. Sometimes we can get stuff in 2 days, but usually it takes longer. So that's why I pick Apple Barrel a lot. Besides, this weekend I am running to Michael's to go get a bunch of craft supplies because I am going to do a little giveaway in the group. I wanted to do it for 5,000 and I did not know how to do it, like how exactly to do it. I didn't know how I wanted to do it. And finally, I decided I was going to get some of my favorite craft supplies to do a giveaway, as well as do a giveaway for the first person who orders from our website. As a little thank you. All right, so that is done. All right, let me see this green. These also have that little score line in between the tree and the tree trunk. I don't get to craft very much, so I absolutely love when I do. So I'm going to hopefully start recording more when I am able to paint stuff, which I am getting ready to do like a small renovation on my kitchen, and I'm going to try to make most of the decor for it once I get done with like painting. So hopefully I can record that. But that's going to take some time. We bought this house in 2009 and it was a fixer-upper, and the kitchen is one of the last rooms that we have to remodel. And I'm just going to do like a simple remodel until I am able to completely gut it and do it how I want to. All right, so I'm on to the last piece. This I'm going to do the same little faux stain. I do sand this. I sand the things that I faux stain before, or you will get like a bunch of oh, I forget what it's called, like fuzzies, and it'll pull up the grain of the wood. So this one is a little different than, because I have some sets that have this truck. This one's a little different because this usually is attached and there's just a score line. So on this one, the woman who designed it did it a little different. And I'm going to blow this up to make it a bigger shelf sitter too, because a lot of people really seem to like that. I've done it for a spring set and another set, and those have sold really good. I guess people like the trucks. All right, that's done. Let me wipe off the excess so I'm not wasting too much. All right. Surprised I'm not making a bigger mess. I am a very messy painter. Very messy. I mean, I have it on me. Oh my goodness, hopefully you're able to see this. I'm so sorry. It's kind of a little different setup than I usually do. I'm usually in my kitchen, but I've moved things around in my living room, and there's better lighting for when I'm working in the living room, so... and of course I made a comment about... I was surprised I made a mess. I got red paint. Let's paint this real quick. Hopefully at the end of the video I can insert like a clip or maybe a picture of this after it's done and set up on my tier tray. One of my tier trays. I have a couple in my house. All right. Make sure I'm putting the lids on so nothing gets dumped. I don't know what to do with this. I'm probably just gonna leave it blank. All right, so let's do black. All right. Need a little bit more paint. All right. Now, I'm thinking maybe I should do white. I'll do white. If I don't like it, I can always go over it with another color. Yeah, I'm still using Posca markers. Posca markers, you can get them from on Amazon, Michaels. Michaels actually usually has the best deals for Posca markers. I think you can buy one. Last time I checked, because I've not had to buy any in a little while. $2.99, and I use the 5M, and it's like a bullet type point on it. I also have like the smaller, I think it's like 1M, and I do not like those at all. They tend to splatter. So I'm not a fan. I don't know why I just picked silver for this. I have no clue. I hope it looks good. I have no clue if it's gonna look any good, to be honest. All right, so let's get black. And I am going to paint this word trees that goes on this side. Sometimes you have to prime them. It's always recommended that you shake them real good, because sometimes the fluids inside will separate a little bit, and then when it dries out, prime it by pushing down, but don't do it too much or you'll flood your work. I actually had someone help me at one point, and she kept priming it, and she kept flooding the project she was doing. Went through so many markers in that time frame. And like I was also newer using those markers, so I did not realize why we were going through them like crazy. But yeah, it'll go a long way without having to prime it. I do need to go pick myself up a couple markers. I think I need white and black. I think I have replacements of everything else. All right, so I'm going to pull this one out. This one is, I like the Posca. You can buy like the American version, or I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese version. Both are really comparable and work really good. But it's better to get the ones from Michaels. They just have the best deal on it, and sometimes you can get coupons and stuff. So, and this one is just green. It'd probably be easier to have like a roller and just roll over this a couple times, which I need to find a good paint roller for like this and not a huge one. And these dry pretty quick too. They dry a lot quicker than like using the acrylic paints. I think the name is Thule. That's also a good brand too, and I feel like they have a better selection of different shades of colors than Posca does. But Posca's, I don't know, they feel good coloring on. But make sure you sand your pieces before you use them, or it will not be smooth. It'll pull up like the grain of the wood a bit. So I like to sand with this little thing. It's like just a hand thing that has a thing on it. My husband got it from work, and we used 320 grit sandpaper. I'm like flooding for some reason a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. It's like flooding a little bit. I don't know. I need to go over this one a bit because it does not look like the other. Because so at least they look symmetrical a little bit. All right. Oh, I need white too. All right. Another reason why I like these markers to use is like, do you see how there's score lines on this? With these markers, it does not get into the score lines unless you flood it. With acrylic paint, it's a little harder not to get into the lines. Usually anything with lines, like score marks, if it's something important, I personally only use brown paint just because it does help darken that up. And I have not been able to not flood the score marks. All right. I think we only have one more piece after this, and that is this. Okay. I'm just using a white Posca marker. You gotta be careful with this piece because where it's smaller, it's very flimsy. So just be gentle. I'm gonna try to miss anything, because sometimes when you're using white, it's a little hard to see when your light's very bright. All right, that's done. This one is a little fragile too, especially in certain parts like up here. So just be careful when you're doing this. Or you could use a piece of tape to hold it down on there. I wish I would have done that now. And then tape it down. It would have made it so much easier. And I also pre-sanded this, so it would be very smooth. This one has a small piece. I'll have to take my tweezers and fix that. It has a small piece of wood that is like kind of coming up a little bit. All right, just looking over it to make sure. Okay, so I also need brown because I totally forgot to do the bottoms of these trees. Slow and steady so you don't get it on the green. Okay, so I think I'm going to do this light blue. Okay, that shook up. This green. Again, we'll do, let's just do yellow. I don't want to do red because it goes on the truck. Is there any other colors? I think that will be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that will be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue. Okay, we'll start out with blue. We'll do green. We'll do yellow, yellow, green, blue, blue, green right here. I made this so much more complicated than it needed to be. I really did. All right, now let me see if I can do like white at the top without causing it to bleed. I can always go over it again. All right, I'm going to let these dry and then I will be back. I am back many hours later. I had planned on doing this earlier, but I did not. So I'm gonna put everything together now. I'm gonna do a dry sand just so it's really smooth and it gives it a distressed look. Besides the things that I have already sanded, like these have already been sanded. I like the edges a little distressed. And they don't have to match up perfectly on how you distress them if you do it this way. I'm working from lightest to darkest, so I don't like put black dust on like white or, you know, the other colors. All right. Then I'm moving to red. There we go. And of course I'm making a mess. All right, that one's done. If my voice sounds super fast, it's not that I talk that fast at all. It's because I sped up the video because I figured out how to do that when I was editing the first part of this video, when I was painting. So I'm not painting super fast. I'm not sanding super fast. I just times 2 speed. Ooh, I'll have to wipe that down after I'm done. I do not know when I'm going to get this video posted, but when I get it posted, I'll have this set up, and I will make sure to include in the comments supplies that I used and paint colors, because I know how helpful that can be sometimes. Okay, I'm going to sand this off to the side so I can just sweep. Oh, Lord. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to just go ahead and start with this one. Putting this together. Let me try to wipe that off, because this is going to drive me nuts. There we go. That's better. All right. So when I'm gluing, I like to use a stiff bristle brush. And I just pick those up at like usually Walmart. Just a little thin one. They have packs at Walmart that have like regular brushes, and it has a few of these in like different sizes. So I really like those. It just, you have more control over, oh my gosh, I'm not using this in forever. You have more control over how much glue you're using, exactly where it's going to go. I used to not use this method, and my projects always had a lot of glue like seeping out the edges, and it just did not look professional at all. There are also small eye drop bottles you can have. I get mine on Amazon when I was selling finished DIY kits, which I might add back eventually. Whenever I was selling those, I would sell like the supplies for them in the kit, and I found these eye drop containers that work really great at holding the glue, and they actually work really good for small projects. So and then this right here has score marks, so you can get this as even as possible. You're not gonna be able to get it 100% even. Sometimes it's a little hard to do that, but it does help you kind of get it accurate. I do want to eventually upgrade my camera gear, so you're not viewing me upside down, because I know that's a little weird, but we're gonna work with what we got right now. We're just gonna line up where the score marks are, and after these are done, I'll sand the backs with my orbital sander, just so that it's a very smooth finish. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. Let me sand this, just the top. Usually I use clamps too to help keep my stuff in place, but I did not bring any of my clamps in here. But they do help. My husband picks them up for me at Harbor Freight, especially if the wood is not like 100% flat, because when you're working with 1/8 of an inch wood, sometimes you're going to have some that have a little bit of a curved tone compared to other woods. All right. Totally forgot to sand these. Oh, that looks good. Okay, let's see. Are they both the same? Okay, that fits in there like that. That makes sense. It's always good to check before you glue down, if you're not sure. There we go. All right, and this one goes on the front. Well, let's go ahead and glue this one first, the tree. And you just line it up. I don't know if this is gonna be like 2 videos or if I am going to be able to edit these videos together. I'm not very savvy when it comes to editing. I'm still learning. So hopefully it won't be like a part 2, because this drives me nuts. But if it is, I will put it in the description. Just make sure that everything lines up. I just want to make sure I like the looks of this before I glue it down. I'm going to paint these black real quick. I don't like the looks of the silver. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You can just go over it. Yeah, I don't think that silver looks very good at all. All right, there's also little score marks on this part to show where the wheels go. The score marks are just a touch smaller. And I will go ahead and glue these down, because it will not affect. It won't affect it at all. As long as I don't touch the white, it will be fine. There we go. Okay, we've got this. All right. Oh, I like that. I kind of wish I would have painted this. But you know what? It's just for me. Because I don't self-finish things anymore. Because the blanks keep us really busy. And I'm very grateful. All right, I'm on to one of the last pieces. I forgot that this has. You could also put this down further. It's just personal preference, honestly. All right. And this green is a little bit different than this. I don't know if you can see. I kind of like how it's different. Not the same. If you get a little bit too much glue, you can just tap it. And the cool thing about this, you don't have to do this how I do it. You can do it however you want. Like you could not include this bow. All right, that one is done. Let's move to this one. All right. I'm going to work my way down the sign on this one, since there is quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, it's been quite a few hours since I filmed the first one, the first part of this video. Next, I am going to paint the matching door hanger. I don't think I've shared a picture for that just yet. I might go ahead and do that tonight. Maybe start to get a head start on like videos, so. I believe these are all the same size. So it doesn't matter which order you put them in. Just try to make sure they're somewhat straight. But it's hard to get them 100% straight, like, even with the score marks. Why does this tree look a little bit bigger? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm wrong. I think they're all the same size. Alright, I put a little bit too much glue. I like to apply a little pressure. I go very light on the wood glue. You want enough, so it's going to help it stick, but not enough to where when you push down on it, it's going to seep out. I have got a bunch of door hangers coming. I just got to cut them. Nothing summery. It's like fall and winter. That sign's done. Let's move to this one. This one I'm going to go like start at the bottom and move up. All right. All right, I'm just gluing the back. I use Gorilla Wood Glue. It seems to get the best glue coverage besides like using super glue. All right. I also might do a dotting technique on some of these. I get these dotting tools from Michaels. You can get them from, I've seen people talk about Dollar Tree having some. I think they're called stylus tools at Dollar Tree. Just try to make sure they're as even as possible. You're not going to be able to 100% get them even. It's not possible, unfortunately. Okay. I'm just adding this so I can do some dots. Okay. Oh, a little bit too much. You don't need very much. But this is the dotting tool. And I think I want to polka dot the trees instead of the backer. You just gently dip it in there. You don't have to dip it in every single time. It's been a while since I've done this. I think I can get like 3 dots out of every single one. All right. And they dry really good. Just try to match up the dots. There's no way to be perfect with this. Like it is physically impossible to get them in the exact same spot. All right. See, this one is not. And that is okay. Okay, so this one I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to do dots. I think that's all. I didn't want to go crazy. And that's all I'm going to dot for today. Let me turn it around so you can see everything. My table is a hot mess. Oh, and I got glue on there. Oops. All right, hopefully you can see that. I'll have to check the camera. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching.